Let's have a look at when inquiries come in, how do we see them and how do we act upon them. Accounts is where we will find all types of clients to be, or existing clients to be, organized. There are two views to look at accounts. Accounts can be viewed in this layout, which is the grid view, or we can also go and have a look at the list view, which is simply a list where I also can take certain actions. For now, we're going to look at the grid view, which is the control panel where most of the users will be working. What is so great about this control panel is that I can interact, document, and find all the information and update all the information of my clients, which I am entitled to see. Every user has an authorization profile. That authorization profile also specifies which data they can access. In this case, if I were to be an agent, I could only see the clients that I'm working on. How do we determine the clients I'm working on? Well, they're or the clients that I've created myself or that my manager has assigned to me. Assigning clients or accounts to a person does two things. It sends an automated email to that person notifying that there's a new client assigned to them, and two, when they log into the CRM system, they will be able to access those accounts and interact with them. In this case, we're going to look at a control panel that is basically for the agency admin. The agency admin has full power over all menus and all data, so also over all clients. First thing we see is a panel that I can scroll down with all different blocks, every block representing an account. And then I see 4 columns that represent statuses. There's actually a 5th status, which is called inactive accounts. So inactive accounts are accounts that in some way or shape have been in contact with our company, but we have disqualified at this point in time for them to be able to do a transaction. We keep the information in inactive accounts because they may come back to us in the future where they will transact with us. And to not lose their information, we keep them there. On the other hand, we also do not delete accounts. Like same thing as we do with other things, we archive them. So when somebody would click here to delete, it will actually ask them to delete or archive this record or to inactivate them. When I delete or archive them, then the agency admin will still be able to restore or delete that record permanently. In case I want to inactivate it, I will confirm and there will be a pop-up saying, why are you putting this account inactive, so that later on me or anybody else that has access to the account could have a look and see why we've put them at that time inactive. Alright, these 4 main statuses here also have a reason of existence, whereas a lead status, blue, as in cold, is an account that comes in from a certain source and we don't know yet that that person is serious, capable to transact with us, so we need to go qualify that account before it can become either a prospect when it's qualified or an inactive account when it's not qualified. Defining the qualification steps to get to one of those 2 statuses, that's actually something that you as an agency can determine. In our example, we have set 3 sub-statuses or qualification steps to decide whether an account is a real account or not. We call them new contact and in contact, but these can be whatever, and they can be as many as you need them to be. I could also go click on here and I would see all the leads and go work them one by one over there. Then I have prospects, and prospects are people that have been qualified. Not per se people that you've met in person, but people that you have asked questions and you got satisfying answers, which made you believe that they are a potential client. At this point in time, typically what your agency would do is send properties that are relevant to this account to create an interest with the hopes to be able to present that property in person and then to close the deal. The moment that the prospect decides to come and see properties that you're presenting, then basically they become clients. Clients are people which in the funnel of getting through to a contract are very nearby transacting, hence we have a personal relationship with them. So from here on we are showing properties to that account. And then of course when they decide to purchase, they will become an existing client and also an owner. Now let's have a look at these individual boxes. And take any of them really. And we see in some of them there are some photos. These photos represent properties in which they have shown an interest. So if I click on there, you will see a box on the left hand side pop up, and if there is also a latitude and longitude, it will actually pop up a real map. Here you can see a map and you can actually zoom into it to see exactly where it is, and you see information about the owner. That kind of information is only available to me when I have the rights to see that kind of information. The importance here is to understand that I can do anything with these accounts without having to go inside them to edit them or to view them. I can actually update them here too. So in this case, for example, we can see that this person here is actually part of a family or a group of which the partner's name is shown just by hovering over this icon here. I can then also click on the actual name, and there I can go update the person's basic information. If I were to need to add more people, I can do that. I can add as many people as I want here. Same happens when I look at the phone numbers, or I can update their contact information. A pop-up will appear where I can update all this contact information. From here I can also directly send an email, and in the email it'll show me all the email addresses that are on this specific record, and I can decide to not send it to everybody. My email will be showing here, and then I can go about writing my email, or I can base myself based on any of the templates that I make for my company. And it will then pre-fill whatever the email needs to say, where I can then make my adjustments in the email. I can also upload files, just dragging and dropping, and I can of course also go back and see if I have any drafts saved. Later on I can also put signatures, etc., etc. I can do a preview of this email, and I can save it to drafts. Now, one of the things that is very important to know is that our emails integrate with your conventional email, which means that if I send an email from here, it is also in your external email system. Let's say that you're using Outlook or Gmail, it will also be there as a sent item. So both these emails will always be in both systems. The same email, whether you send it from here or you send it outside the system, this will be stored in both systems, on the record of the account and in your external email system. When you need to reply to an email that comes in from a client, exactly the same. You can reply from your conventional email system or reply right here in the CRM system. They will always be synchronizing. I'm not going to save this email, so I'm just going to cancel the save as draft question. Let's move on to whatever is on here. For example, here I can see a timeline. When I click on the timeline, I will see all the history that has happened with this specific client. And then I can go click on any of these icons here to see what that specific activity was about. I do not need to go inside the client to see that history. From here I can see a residential profile. That is basically the profile or the parameters of what that person or company is looking for. In this case we have a client looking to only purchase and not to rent. If I were to select any of those, there will be more fields showing. Then you can give a purpose of purchasing, the types what they're looking for, and then also where they are looking. And you can detail as much as you want to do, whereas you can also set a budget, and you will see also here there's an alerts button. This is for you to enable automated emails to be sent to this account at the moment there is a new property or there are new properties uploaded in your system that correspond to the parameters of this specific client. Lastly, here we can also define where this person is looking to buy, and you can literally draw on this Google map saying exactly in which area they are looking for a property. For example, here below this main road, and then you can add a second one and a third one, etc., where they also could be looking. So these parameters in combination with the parameters we have here will allow us to do the crossing of data, as we call it, and bring us up with the relevant properties. In this case, in real time, the system already presents you 19 relevant properties that comply with these parameters. I can now go and have a look at these individual properties and see what they are. With that, I can get a preview of these properties. I could then also go inside those properties and view them. There are many things I can do, like creating window cards, etc. But for argument's sake here, let's just say that we've selected a number of properties which we're going to email. So from here I can email them as well, and I can do two different things. I can send attachments where I can get a whole series of PDF files that I can attach, or instead we can send thumbnail links. Thumbnail links are these little previews you get in an email with a photo, some text, and a button to click to go to the property on your website. This is by far the recommended way to send emails and no longer sending attachments for reasons of deliverability and also for people going to your website. Then we can also see how easy it is to assign an account to one or more agents so that they can access it, which will create an email notification and will allow them to see the account in their CRM environment. The sources of the accounts are mandatory, so you must have always a source from where you know your account, so later on you can filter on those sources and know from where they have come. This is important when you're investing in certain marketing vehicles like portals. Talking about portals and websites, accounts are created automatically once they inquire on your website or on any of the portals that you are publishing your properties on. So you do not need to manually create them. They are already created. And of course, if they already exist, we're not creating a double, because doubles cannot be created based on emails and phone numbers. We will simply add the new information of the new inquiry to the existing account.